Okay, today we're trail running in the White Mountain National Forest, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why you should be doing hill strides. No matter if you're a beginner runner, a casual runner, or a professional runner, if your goal is to get faster and feel stronger while running in the mountains, you should probably be doing hill strides. All the top mountain and ultra running athletes and their coaches are doing hill strides, giving out hill strides. And so yeah, you should probably be doing them. Today we're going to talk about hill strides, how I do them, what the benefits are, and at the end of the video I'll just set up the camera and just show you how I do hill strides, kind of like the most effective way that I found to implement them at the end of my runs. And then we're also hiking to Mount Liberty and Mount Flume in the White Mountain National Forest, so we'll film some of that. And then we might be talking a little bit about donuts. I've been enlightened to a few different kinds of donuts this summer that are just blowing my mind, so we'll maybe talk about those too. All right, let's go. Okay, so what are hill strides? I feel like when I got into running, I would hear about strides, hear about hill strides, but I couldn't really figure out exactly what they were, if I should be doing them. So I guess, what are hill strides? Pretty much hill strides are just like a series of fast kind of pickups at the end of a run. Not really sprints, but just faster paces at the end of typically like an easy run. And I like to do them at the end of the long run. So I think there's some studies out there and different people have different takes, but usually the set of kind of fast pickups that you do for hill strides would be anywhere from like 4 to 8 sets, and it could be anywhere from like 10 to 30 second kind of bursts of speed. And they're not meant to be like a hard workout. They're more just meant to kind of engage your leg muscles, kind of like promote power output, especially at the end of a run, without doing kind of like, not the damage, but basically, yeah, I guess the damage of like a hard speed workout. So there are flat strides and there are hill strides. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. The flat strides, you do something on like a flat surface, maybe like a road or a track. And then hill strides, you want to pick kind of like a moderate grade. And as many of you know, if you try running uphill, it is much harder, and you need to have strong legs. So that's what these hill strides try to replicate: more power output, and kind of get the leg muscles working. So on the White Mountains, there's lots of super steep grades, 20-30% grades. But I found that doing them on 20-30% grades, it's just a little too much, a little too maybe strenuous. I think like sometimes I'll have kind of like a hamstring will start bothering me or something from doing them on super steep inclines. So what I found is like the ideal incline for hill strides is like anywhere from like 5 to 10% grade. Usually if I get a 10% grade and smooth, so I try to do these off trail, that's like the sweet spot. I think you can still go pretty fast, so maybe think of like getting up to like 10k to 5k pace on like a decent little incline, and focus on kind of like keeping up your cadence on the incline like where you would on a flat, and it kind of just triggers your legs to be strong and kind of like promote more power output. So why should you be doing hill strides? I mean, here's why I think they're so effective. I feel like a lot of people, when you do like a workout, whether if it's just lifting, so like non-running workout, or like some sort of speed work, you kind of think of just going all out, destroying yourself, being sore the next day. And you know, like, hey, I went hard. But with hill strides, the goal is not to be sore. And the goal is not to put extra stress in your body. like it really shouldn't be an increase in training load. It should just be little extra bursts of strength to kind of help your legs grow stronger without destroying yourself. So yeah, if you do a workout and you kill yourself, you'll be sore for a few days. But if you do hill strides, the next day you're not sore, and maybe the day after that, you can do more hill strides. And so it's kind of promoting this strength and speed in a way that you can do more reps than you would be able to do kind of all out speed work. So like if I had the option, I had two options. One, you do a hard workout once a week, or you do 3 sets of hill strides every week for a year. Which one would you choose? Now, obviously, you could, all right, well, if I'm not doing a hard workout, I'll do kind of like a little bit longer, a little bit more intense hill strides. So it's kind of like, you could play it however you want, but I may take the hill strides just because you're getting more work done in a given year without putting all the stress on your body. Ideally, you could do a workout and 2 or 3 sets of hill strides during the week. And that's kind of like the golden, where you want to try to get to. At least that's what's worked for me really good. And if you haven't been doing hill strides, I know the Roaches talk about this. If you haven't been doing hill strides and you start implementing hill strides in like a couple weeks, immediate gains, feeling stronger, heart rate a little lower when you're running uphill. I mean, that's what happened for me. And yeah, it's just something to maybe add to your training. A lot of people aren't doing it, or maybe are underutilizing them, me included. I didn't do them for a long time, and I wish I did. And I probably don't do them enough. And I don't know what the studies say. I know there's lots of good studies on strides and hill strides. I know there's one that says something like, if you do an easy run or an easy run with hill strides without going too hard, they're like the stress levels are like the same. So I think the bang for the buck on hill strides is just so good. It's way less you're gonna get some sort of overuse injury compared to doing a lot of workouts, but you're still getting like a good amount of the benefits. So I feel like, at least for me, if I'm just running slow, the classic zone 1, zone 2, for most of my training, I can get aerobically fit, but sometimes my legs feel flat. And so, yeah, once I started incorporating speed workouts in 2 to 3 hill strides a week, I've just had much more progress. And I pretty much tell all of my friends, anyone I run with, or anyone who will even listen to me, you gotta be doing hill strides. You have to be doing hill strides. Yelling it from rooftops. So that's why I'm making the video. And I think also, I had a friend being like, oh, I wanna get better at pull-ups. And I was like, you gotta find a way to do hill strides for pull-ups. I don't know if that's, I don't know how that would look. But I think the idea of doing non-destructive, very, very consistent work is just huge, and a lot of people overlook it. Okay, so that is the spiel on hill strides. We'll get back to the hike. Hopefully get to the summit in a little bit. And it's a clear day, so we're gonna get some good views. It's been a little bit hazy this summer, but I think today isn't too bad. And Liberty, I think, one of the best views in the White Mountains. I remember, I think one of my first hikes was up Liberty in the winter. Just picture perfect day. But it's a steep climb. It's like 25 or 30% towards the top. And yeah, that was a handful of years ago. And I remember also being tired. So we got some climbing. We got some climbing to do. And also, I like to do hill strides at the end of a long run. And if I'm building up to like an ultra or something pretty long, and I do like a 5, 6, 7, 8 hour long run, I like to do strides at the end of that, because doing strides consistently will just help your legs be stronger, kind of have that little higher power output while keeping the heart rate a little bit down. And personally, at the end of like a long, especially a long mountain run, your legs, the last descent, your legs feel tired. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm running so slow, I can't do strides right now. But then I do them, and my legs actually pick it up, you know, in a few reps. They will kind of like come to life a little bit. And so I think there's also something to training your legs to run fast, even when they're tired. And I think that's huge. If you're training for an ultra marathon and you want to kind of not fade away like we all do, not fade away as much, yeah, try doing hill strides at the end of your long run and just see how you feel. So yeah, stick around for the end of the run, and I'll just set the camera up and I'll show you how I do a set of hill strides, and we'll talk a little bit more about them then. Okay, so the hike we're doing today is Mount Liberty and Mount Flume. I started from the basin in Franconia Notch, ran down the bike path, and then started up Liberty Spring Trail. I don't know how long this trail is, maybe a few miles, but it's pretty steep, and you pretty much go all the way up to Franconia Ridge, kind of like the base of the Franconia Ridge Trail. Take a quick right up to Mount Liberty. You get to see all of Franconia Notch, all of the Pemi, over to the Prezzies. It's a good view. You can see Flume Slide, which should be, is it gonna be lit up? I guess the sun comes from the west. 2 + 2, don't know if it's gonna be lit up. But you're gonna see Mount Flume and the big Flume Slide. And then we turn around and we go right back down. We're getting closer. I think we just passed the 4,000 foot elevation mark, so should be at the ridge fairly soon. Franconia Ridge Trail, Bear Alert, and we're almost there. Wow. Franconia Ridge, Cannon. The Kinsman's, that's where I was last weekend. Moosalok. And the Pemi. Owl's Head in the middle. Garfield. Galehead, South, or the Twins. The Bonds. Washington in the back. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. This is like, it's cool. It's not super humid. It's not really that hazy. I mean, this is a crazy good day. I'm glad I came up. Wow, it's pretty good. Pretty good. That is Mount Liberty. So after Liberty, you maybe drop down a few hundred feet in elevation, over like third of a mile, have a little flat spot, and then you start climbing back up to Flume. So we're on that climb now. Once we get to Flume, we look at the view, and then we turn around and go back. Lots of people on the summit today, so just a quick view. So yeah, this croissant donut, it's like got a moist, warm inside. I mean, good taste. I got it from a good spot. It's super filling. It's definitely different, but I just cannot, I don't know, do I like it better than a better donut? Has anyone had these croissant donuts? Are they donuts? I don't even know what a donut is, I guess. But like there was one from Northwoods Brewing that's like almost hollow on the inside. It's so good, it's so filling. It's kind of a donut, it's kind of not a donut. I guess it is a donut. But, so yeah, been craving these donuts recently. And honestly, when you run so much, a donut before a run, need to be fueled for a run. A donut during a run, need to be fueled during a run. Also, got to train the stomach on high carbs. After a run, carbs, replenish your glycogen, need it. Like, hill strides and donuts. It's science. Seriously, this is crazy. So good. Saw a few people out here, looks like they were getting after Pemi loops. Yeah, good day. Good day. Oh. Unfortunately, we gotta go. So that was Liberty and Flume. We're almost back to the Liberty Spring Trail junction with Franconia Ridge Trail, and gonna descend this trail and then we'll talk a little bit more about hill strides. I'll give you some tips on how I do them, and I'll just show you how I do them. And then it will not be a mystery. Okay, we're getting towards the bottom of the trail, and luckily this trail has like a little bike path from the trailhead to where I parked. So that's like the perfect, like a smooth surface to do strides, is like ideal. So yeah, you're looking for a smooth surface. I do them anywhere between like half a mile and a mile towards the end of my run, or I would say 0 to 1 mile to like your end point in a run is like a good, if you see a good hill for it, because it's not always easy to find like a good kind of mild grade long enough hill. So yeah, be creative. If you see like a little hill and you're within a mile of like where you ended, that would be a great hill to do strides. You really just run up the hill and then run back down, so you only need like, I don't even know if you'd need 100 feet or 100 yards of stretch, but that's what I'm looking for right now. We're gonna go down to the bike path, and that's where we're gonna do the strides. So I just finished a 2.5 hour long run. It's a Saturday, that's when I usually do one of my long runs, and I like to do strides 2 to 3 times a week. So one of them will be after a long run, so like a Saturday or Sunday is a good time to do it. When your legs are kind of tired, maybe like an easier long run so you're not super beat up. Add some strides at the end when your legs are getting a little tired to give them that reminder like, hey, we can run fast, even if it's been a little bit of time on trail. And then as far as like when you should spread them out throughout the week, I think on any easy or moderate run where you're like feeling good is a good time to do them. If you're feeling run down, you're just kind of feeling crappy, maybe you had a workout the day before or something, you can skip it. But if you're feeling like good and like energized and like, oh, you know, everything feels good, throw some strides in. 2 or 3 times a week, like I wouldn't do more than 3 times a week. So like I wouldn't do them back-to-back days, maybe like every other day if that works out, is a good schedule to do them. And yeah, like for me, usually I do a workout on Tuesday, so then strides on maybe like Thursday, definitely strides Thursday after kind of like maybe a moderate trail run, and then after a long run on Saturday, so that would be 2. If I'm feeling good on Sunday or feeling good on like a Friday, I can do them. Some people like to do them the day before you do like a hard workout, so you could do strides then. Yeah, just mix it up whenever you're feeling good, throw them in. And the other thing too is I don't like to push the strides. Like if it ever feels strenuous, I stop. So I guess along the lines of like, if you're feeling good, maybe you do 6, 7, 8 sets of strides, if you're feeling good. But if you're feeling kind of crappy, just do 4 or 5 super short ones, call it good. Yeah, so I really never push it. This is not for training your anaerobic system. It's really just to get your leg muscles like firing and give them a quick little workout so they can kind of recover and be stronger the next day. So I usually tend to go on the kind of shorter end of stride. So I really never let my heart rate get above like aerobic threshold, which obviously like you're sprinting, so like you're not going to just like skyrocket your heart rate anyway. But yeah, 10K to 5K pace. And as soon as it feels hard, I usually just stop, which is like, I think it's like, you're kind of like, oh, am I working hard? But I mean, you are. I feel like when it gets hard, I maybe do 1 or 2 more. But I think that's the point of strides. Like they're not supposed to be super hard. They're just supposed to be a jolt of kind of fast power, to get your legs used to running faster, because the more you're running faster, the more your legs are going to want to do that, on kind of your race days or your big days. So yeah, I guess that's my philosophy for strides. We're almost at the bottom, so I'll just set the camera up. I'll show you how I'm doing. Maybe do a couple real time, a couple fast forward. We'll call it good. If you have any questions, because I'm sure I missed some sort of like, I always have, when I listen to stuff, I always have additional questions that they don't address that seem like, why didn't they talk about this? So if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments and I will answer them. Yeah, so unfortunately, we're next to the Kankamankas Highway, but hopefully the noise isn't too bad. Motor's gonna go by. And yeah, I think towards the top of the parking lot, like right now, this is maybe like 3% Like, it's pretty flat, 2 or 3%. I think towards the parking lot it gets steeper. So once I see that like 5 to 10% range, I'll stop and I'll do them. And that's just kind of how I look for them. And this is going to be closer to the end, which is fine. All right, so this is looking good. Probably, and this is like a good straightaway. Yeah, I'm probably gonna set the camera up here. The first couple of strides, I usually go slower, because if you're on a super easy run and you immediately run faster, like you don't wanna like tweak something. So first couple, go a little bit slower, just to kind of get your legs working. And then, yeah, after that, if you feel good, go a little faster. But this is like, should nowhere be nearing red line, nowhere nearing top speed. It should feel like a moderate effort for 20 seconds. That's what I'm gonna do here. So I'll put the camera down and I'll show you. Okay, this is what we're going with. This is not on an official stand or anything, but that's a pretty good runway. And yeah, I'm just gonna do, yeah, probably do like 6 to 8 of these, and call my run good. All right, that was the first one. Did, yeah, 20 seconds. So those are my first 2. When I get to the end, I usually like jog for a few seconds, stand there for a few seconds if I want. If I'm doing 20 seconds, I probably do like 40 to 60 seconds before I start the next one. So they each take about a minute, maybe it takes 10, 12 minutes. That was 3. So we'll do 5 more. 5 more, probably good. And on the recovery lap down, I've been running it, but if you're like not feeling it, you wanna walk it, you can walk it. I think the most important part is just that 20 seconds. So it's not like I'm trying to like get 10 minutes of my heart rate up. I want to like get my heart rate up a little bit, think about power, my leg muscles, and then get it all the way back down before I do the next one. I'm not trying to gain fitness right now. I'm trying to get my legs stronger. So we got 4 more. I'm gonna fast forward these 2 now. That's it. That's how I do them. Hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this helps you start doing your hill strides. Do them however you want. Look how other people do them. I'm sure there's people who explained it better than me, but just make sure you're doing them. That's all I got.